calling to order this meeting of the Inland Valley Development Agency on this May 9th, 2018. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll call?
Sure. Please state your name for the record. From the city of Colton.
Richard De La Rosa.
Isaac Suchel.
Thank you. From the city of Loma Linda.
Ovi Popescu.
Thank you. From the county of San Bernardino, 5th District.
Josie Gonzalez.
Thank you. From the county of San Bernardino, 3rd District.
James Ramos.
Thank you. From the city of San Bernardino.
Kerry Davis.
Thank
Virginia
you.
Marquez.
Fred Charette.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, legal counsel, will we be going into closed session?
Yes, we will, Madam Chair.
All right, so I will recess for closed session, and we will be back. Thank you. Just until he fixes it. All right. We are back from closed session. Legal counsel, is there any reportable action as a result of closed session?
There is not, Madam Chair.
All right, at this time, I will call to order open session for the meeting of the IVDA. Ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. As we place our hand over our heart, together we begin and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so very much. Please be seated. Any items to be added or deleted from the agenda, Mr. Burrows?
No items.
All right, any conflict of interest statements to be declared? Seeing no one, Madam Clerk. At this time, informational items. Mr. Burrows, are there any?
There is one, and it involves a guest of ours, a friend and a partner of the IVDA and the airport for many, many years, and we were just talking about a few of those. So we're very pleased to have, on behalf of our Alliance California team, Mr. Ned Sortino with Hillwood. And I'd like Ned to come up and give us a brief update on what you heard a little bit from Mr. Magnus at our last meeting on, the Westgate development that we've focused on this past year, and how that project is wrapping up. So, Ned, welcome back.
Let me ask you to just please stall. I apologize. Is there something?
We're getting the mic.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Not a problem.
All right, let's try it again.
Okay. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Ned Shortino with Hillwood, Vice President of Development. We are here today to present a check to the IVDA and Sevilla as in good partners as we work with Mike and his staff diligently for $739,475.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
I'll take it. I can take it.
As I said, we are partners, and we do appreciate the IVDA and the Commissioner's support and everything we do here. As Hillwood, in our development, we are in just about every city that's an inland empire, even in the Riverside and so forth. But we always like to come back to home. We think of San Bernardino in this area, and we are very proud of the clients that we bring to the area, and not just the clients, but the good paying jobs. So my hat's off to Mike and his group. We have many more projects in the works that we're working diligently with the staff. And it's also a pleasure to report that the Trader Joe's project should be operational by the end of the year. And so that was a very competitive project. And if it wasn't for the staff and the city making that happen, we just could not have made the schedule. So hats off And when we say we do appreciate it, we really do mean that because it is all a team. And every time we get a project, we bring the staff in as a team partner, and we just can't do it alone. So again, my hat's off to the staff and to the IVDA and the commissioners, and we thank you very much for choosing us many years ago for a partner. Any
Well,
questions? Or?
We are definitely very appreciative of the sizable investments that have been made, not only in the city, that benefit the city of San Bernardino, but the surrounding cities. And as you can say, the members of the Joint Powers Agency that sit here before you, where we all work together towards a common positive goal. The jobs that are generated as a result of the sizable investments and partnering continue to support and are the fundamental economic foundation of our communities. And as our communities grow, we become more of a centric power and decision-making type of an entity that is able to attract outside interests. We play a mutual interest role, and it is because, once again, of the partnering and the investment, and as testimony, the check that you have brought before us today, by which we can truly continue to celebrate said partnership.
Thank
Mike,
you.
anything to add?
So again, Ned, you and your team hit it out of the park year after year, and this Trader Joe's project was an exciting one, but a fun one, and we learn along the way. So, we really appreciate the good work that you do, and that Hillwood brand has brought us a whole lot of joy over the years. So thank you for what you guys do.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Will you be staying so that at the end of the meeting, perhaps we can take a photo op or something? All right, well, let's proceed quickly. Anything else, Mr. Burrows?
Just one note on the grants report. We just got an update from our friends at the City of Highland. So earlier this year, we also worked with them on supporting a SB1 grant application. We just heard last week that they're in the final rounds on that. And for the new federal EDA grant that we were fortunate to receive earlier this year, they would be applying that to reduce collectively the local match for both IVDA, San Manuel, and the City of Highland. So that's money back in all of our pockets. Mr. Wong and his team are going to give us a report at the end of the month, and we'll certainly hope to report good news again to you all. So that concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burrows. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar, items 3 through 5.
I'll move it.
I have a motion from Councilmember Duper, a second from
I'll second.
Councilmember
You
Charette.
can make the motion, I'll second.
Any comments? Any opposition? Hearing none, it is so ordered. Moving on to item number 6, which is to consider and discuss a report on the status of the Airport Gateway Specific Plan for the Inland Valley Development Agency. Mr. Burrows.
So this is where we are to date. At our last briefing on this particular project, our representative from PlaceWorks, our primary consultant that Ms. Beltran is working hand in hand with, had laid out some of the alternatives that were being considered. One of those, if you recall, was a concept potentially brought in by the stakeholder group to consider realigning 5th Street, a portion of it, from Sterling Avenue back to Victoria. Pleased to report that the traffic analysis, the key driver in whether that is a ultimate viable option or not, is substantially complete. So we had a stakeholder meeting late last week. This included East Valley Water District, San Manuel, and both the cities of San Bernardino and Highland, whose jurisdiction this project moves in and out of. And not surprisingly, that traffic analysis showed that to eliminate not just the road, but potentially the utilities that are in 5th Street presently creates quite a number of constrictions. Not at this point completely unmitigatable, but it is a very, very difficult proposition. So with that data, both the City of San Bernardino and the City of Highland staff are convening meetings to look at the viability of that alternative, and we hope by the next meeting to be able to come back with the preferred alternatives. As you all will remember, this body, as well as the city of Highland, for a number of years have advanced, entitled, and planned all of the infrastructure necessary to widen the roads, expand utilities in both 3rd and 5th Street to provide good circulation to the airport and surrounding properties. And 5th Street alone is a direct connector to the 210 freeway, which gets utilized quite readily right now. So when you talk about overall traffic, taking any element of that circulation out and realigning it puts a lot of tax and strain on our existing 3rd Street and, of course, what would be 6th Street. That discussion is not a surprise, I think, to any of you. I just wanted to let you know that the data is driving a decision point here in the coming weeks with those communities, and it does not look like it's, from a financial standpoint, a very easy proposition. So that is the update to date. Again, we do not, as IVDA, have land use authority. That rests in both the City of Highland and the City of San Bernardino, but I wanted to make sure we let you know as soon as the analysis was being circulated that, not surprisingly, taking 5th Street out puts a major strain on all of the local roads, and that, of course, makes it very difficult to mitigate if it were to be pursued. And I'm not saying it will be. I'm just saying that was the decision of the stakeholders to analyze it, and right now, of course, there are some real issues in trying to implement that. And, as development occurs, and we're seeing more and more of it, we want to make sure we're providing the development community with the best possible alternatives. So there's another series of meetings within the staff in the next couple of weeks, and by your next meeting, hope to give you the outcome of that. The good news is we certainly know how we can expand 3rd Street, 5th Street, the existing collector roads. Some of our recent grants continue to do that, so we haven't stopped working. There is progress being made, but I did, because it was a discussion topic and a concern of both the communities and this body, to let you know that the traffic analysis does show some real issues in eliminating 5th. Not a surprise.
All right, questions, board members? Okay. Just very quickly, what type of conversations have been had, if any, regarding the City of Highlands and the City of San Bernardino's either traffic mitigation plan, community development in these areas, perhaps looking at their land use designations, and also any general plan updates that either take place, 4 times a year, or in the big general plan updates that take place every 10 years. Have we discussed this plan with both cities, and what is their economic investment and design plan to fit with what we're wanting to do?
So over this past year, as we've been heavy into this process, every meeting is supported and participated by both cities, planning staff, public works staff. So they've been at the table for well over a year on this, and they are definitely coming into alignment on the land use alternatives that we're discussing. This is actually in furtherance of what would have been a general plan update. The specific plan overlay advances all of those entitlements. So they're at the table with us every stretch of the way. And with this traffic component, that was one of the last pieces to be able to then complete some of the alternatives to present not just to their communities, but also to this body. So
And have you checked
we're
to see
very
if
far along.
Have you checked to see if their budget includes funding for whatever it is that's being
So
discussed,
again,
so we can
that's-
rely on the fact that they're actually
This
planning
plan
on doing
cannot be
this?
finished without the implementation, including the development impact fees, the
Right,
community
the
facilities
DIFs,
district.
yes.
So to your point, Supervisor, they are part of this team, and
All right.
every stretch, every page we turn, they're with us.
Okay, then that's good. Then we can we can be comfortable and rely on the fact that this is a workable plan.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So
Okay.
we're nearing those final throws to provide the preferred alternatives to start advancing circulation of the document.
All right.
That's where it sits today.
Okay. Questions, board members? At this time, no discussion on this item? If there isn't, I will entertain a motion. Is this only a discuss and, wait a minute, where is it? Oh, it's over here. I'm lost without my iPad stuff here. Sorry about this. It says consider and discuss, so it's a receive and file?
Yes, it is,
All
Madam
right,
Chair.
very good. No problem. So no discussion? All right, we're moving on to item number 7. Item number 7 is, again, to consider and discuss a report on economic development initiatives.
So
Mr. Burrows.
I'm actually glad Ned stuck around because I get to brag about him again. So at your last meeting, we had some updates. And as you know, this time of year, going into budget time, we also are preparing our updates on the strategic plan results and outcomes. We just rounded the corner with that on the job creation element that we have. And so if you recall, early this year, we every year also have to track what the overall property tax generation in our project area is doing. And this year we hit another milestone. For the first time ever, we hit over $6.9 billion in total assessed valuation. That's up from what was barely 6.5 last year, and that is because of all of the development and growth that we've seen. So if you go to the next one, Maciel, that also then brings jobs, and this is the latest tally here. So as you recall, 10,000 jobs were lost as a result of the closure. That was a $1.9 billion economic drain to this community. As of this year, 2017, 11,575, and our staff has run the economic impact analysis of that. That is over $2.3 billion in economic output. So certainly up from where we were before. That's the composition of the various trades and industries of those jobs. And if you go to the next one, that's how we've been doing year over year. So you go back to 2010, we were happy with 4,100 direct jobs. Last year, we finally surpassed the 10,000, and this year we're well above 11,000 and climbing. So that is strong growth and a lot of success and support from our partners. This year, too, another big surprise, the airport employment is now the top third employer in our entire project. Last year it was the 4th. So we're climbing up and up. Obviously, Amazon's got a whole lot of folks out there, and we're really happy about that. But that airport is growing, as you guys see each and every day. So that's a big development for us. So as we talked about, none of that would be possible without partnerships, without good, strong Joint Powers Authority members like we have, but also strong partners with our team at Hillwood and the airport.
What's the story with Mattel?
So Mattel is obviously still in operation presently, but as you read, they are scaling back, and that building, when they do vacate it later in the year, will be back in inventory. It is Hillwood's building, and so Ned, I don't know if you guys have had any recent discussions on that. That was your first one, if I recall, so a special place in his heart, but we don't know about next steps on that just yet.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Mike, I can't see. How many jobs are being created by Mattel? Is it 200?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be scaled significantly through the months.
Yeah. But what we don't count, because we're very conservative in this, our cutoff is 2017. When John was here last month, he talked about another just shy of 400 jobs. Technically, our team is very, very good at keeping us honest, and those are 2018 jobs, so those will go into next year's count. And so that's not in the 11,575, as it shouldn't be. So that's it. That's the latest and greatest. Next month, we'll be obviously on to not just budgets, but the strategic plan output, and hopefully we've got a new fresh look for you on that as well. That concludes my remarks.
All right. Any questions, comments, board members? Hearing none, this is also a receive and file. And moving on to item number 8, which is to review the status of the action plan for the Inland Valley Development Agency through June 30th of 2018. And once again, Mr. Burrows.
Okay, so if you go to the next one, Marcio. So we find ourselves in May. We are definitely in budget season, as are most of your agencies. We are making good progress there, and Bill and his team have gotten good input from not just staff, but also our tenants and partners. So we are very much on track to have your budget before you at your next meeting, along with, as I said, the strategic plan results. So that's where we're at,
Okay.
rounding out the year.
Sounds good. Questions, board members? Hearing none. At this time, I will go out for public comment. Anyone from the public here wishing to come forward to speak on an item that is on or off the agenda? One of these days, we're going to get lucky. I'm going to close the public comment portion of this meeting. Board members, any comments? Hearing none, at this time, I will adjourn this meeting to our next regularly scheduled meeting of Wednesday, June 13th, 2018. This meeting is adjourned.